meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission, and pursuant to the amendment of Bill H 3548 and Governor Healy signing such amendment into law in March of 2023, expressing certain provisions of the open meeting law. This public meeting of the Town of Bolton Conservation Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but the public can access this meeting while in progress by Zoom Video Communications, Inc. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearing designated for public comment by telephone, cell phone, or personal computer using Zoom. Some guidelines for participants: please utilize the chat or raise hand function to address the board. Participants are asked to remain on mute until they have been addressed by the board, and participants are required to display first and last names. All that said, by tradition, we will start with a roll call of present members. I am Brian Barabee.
Sue Mitra.
Paul Brandvold.
Jim Garrity.
Scott Gear.
All right. First up this evening, the Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the public hearing for a request for an amendment to an order of conditions for 711-713 Main Street, DEP file number 112-0753. As an update on this particular hearing, the applicant has asked for a continuation so that they can provide the numbers we had asked for at last meeting. That said, I'm going to make a motion. Let me ask Lauren, what's the first time slot we have available next meeting?
7:20 on December 2nd.
Okay. And I should ask commission members comfortable with continuing this hearing until December 2nd?
Yes.
All right. Any members of the public here tonight to comment on this particular hearing? Seeing none. All right. I'm going to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for a request for an amendment of order to an order of conditions for 711/713 Main Street, DEP file number 112-0735 until our next public hearing Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 7:20 p.m. Do I hear a second for continuing?
Second.
All those in favor, starting with Sue.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
And Lauren, I'm an aye as well.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So the Bolton Conservation Commission will now continue the public hearing under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Bolton Bylaw, Chapter 233, to consider a notice of intent filed for 433 Still River Road, DEP file number 112-764. Before continuing with this hearing, are there any members of the commission that need to recuse themselves from said hearing?
This is Scott Gear. I'm the property owner. I recuse myself.
Okay. So the applicant has asked for a continuation till our December 2nd meeting, so that they can so that they can pull together all the things we had asked for and put a plan they are putting together. So they have asked also to be continued to our 12/2/2025 meeting. Commission members have any questions, comments? Any members of the public here tonight to comment on this particular hearing? Okay. I guess I'm going to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for 443 Still River Road, DEP file number 112-764 till our next public meeting, Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Do I hear a second for continuing?
Second.
All those in favor, starting with Sue.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
And Lauren, I'm an aye as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So next up we had it's not a public, I don't know that we need to open it, right? It's a continuing discussion for the request for certificate of compliance for 0 Butternut Lane. Is the applicant here tonight?
No, that's Matt Evangelos. He is not here tonight.
Okay.
And I know that we're still waiting on, so he had submitted an as-built. It was missing some of the information that was on the original plan that needed to be incorporated. So he intends to join the December 2nd meeting.
Okay. All right. In that case, we're probably just going to table the rest of this hearing for this evening, right? We don't need to continue or anything with it. Okay.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Next up, we had about an item on the agenda about restating the prior authorization regarding the erosion at Kagan Beach footing at Bowers Beach. Is Dan Kagan here tonight, or anyone?
I don't see Dan Kagan in the room with us.
Okay. I am going to look for, so to remind commission members, Dan Kagan had put in the memorial at Bowers Springs. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my notes, Lauren.
He had
Sorry.
installed the bench at Bowers Springs,
Thank you.
and there was erosion around the footing of the bench.
So we had mentioned at our meeting what he could do with the rocks. We had kind of given some authorization for that and said basically to hold off on doing other things until we issued a COC that we could put ongoing conditions in that would allow him to basically maintain the area. He had emailed the commission asking for kind of clarification on that, what they were allowed to do, what they weren't allowed to do. Am I getting this right, Lauren? Okay.
Yep, that's correct. He just wanted some clarification. I think he had intended on incorporating some plants, and so there was some emails back and forth. We had explained that though that was something that was discussed during the meeting, it wasn't authorized at this time and could be discussed in a future meeting by the commission, but that hadn't been discussed or anything had been approved at that time.
Okay. So, Rebecca had suggested, 'cause in talking with her, trying to figure out the best way to restate what we had said, and she was kind enough to pull from the ongoing conditions for the certificate of compliance. So I thought it might be best if I would basically just to reread that in order for us to reiterate what was approved and what can be done at this point. Does that make sense to everyone? Am I babbling incoherently? Okay. So I guess what I would like to state then is that regarding the erosion of Kagan Beach footing at Bowers Beach, and when it comes to Memorial Bench in particular, the rocks may stay in place, and adding that they had brought in before and maintained. And the ongoing conditions will also state that this project is a limited project under 310 CMR due to its beach-like characteristics. Conservation agent shall post notification on the town approval websites and or properties for at least 7 days prior to the commencement of work. Resource areas and their impact should be as follows, and it lists the 5 feet of the bank, 95 feet of beach, 100 square feet buffer zone, 500 square feet of adjacent upland resource area, and 100 feet prohibition area, 25 feet from bordering vegetated wetland. Also, that bordering land subject to flooding alteration shall be avoided at maximum extent practicable from adjacent bank location is the maximum lateral extent observed by water. Therefore, prior to the commencement of work, the agent shall mark off with the contracted party 1 feet from the bank to confirm the limit of work on site. Shall see it added at a maximum. Sand shall be added at a maximum quantity of 4 cubic yards over existing sand area outside of bordering land subject to flooding aforementioned. And we had mentioned in the meeting that amount could be adjusted based upon what the conservation agent in conjunction with the person decided had eroded away. And the same was said for loam, because loam shall be added at a maximum quantity of 2 cubic yards adjacent to the sand area and trail edge. Surplus material from the aforementioned quantities shall be placed on site within the upland away from the pond and wetland areas, location to be determined by the conservation agent prior to placing material. Jute netting and wattle shall be utilized on site. Final stabilization shall take place through the use of New England Wetland Plants Inc. seed mix appropriate to the existing site conditions habitat. And snow fencing shall be in place for visibility and deference of utilizing work area during the 2 growing seasons required for full stabilization. That is restating what was put in the ongoing orders for basically maintenance. A lot of it says, should it be done in conjunction with the conservation agent? What I would suggest to Tom too is I think Lauren and or Rebecca would be happy to send him a copy of these ongoing conditions. Most of it, I think if he has an idea what he wants to do, it's something that he can run by you and Rebecca. And chances are it might be covered under this, and if it's somehow not covered under this, I would imagine you could explain why. But I think as far as reiterating what was stated, I think that's the best we can do. But I'm going to open it up to other commission members. Have thoughts, comments, questions? Okay. All right. Okay. Lauren, could you pull up the drawing of this temporary easement?
Sure. 1 minute.
All right. This was a new one for me. So Lauren, as I try to explain it, please jump in and tell me where I might be wrong and or off.
Okay.
So this is the Forbush Mill Road, and this is the culvert replacement project going on, or proposed, well, which in the future will be proposed to go on. Yeah, this is where it gets weird. So in order to put in an NOI, they're asking if they would be allowed a temporary easement on conservation land. It's basically right across from where the culvert is. It's where they would need to park. And I don't know if it was stockpile materials. There was basically a reason why they needed to kind of use that area. If we were to grant a temporary easement, and I got to look through my notes because I asked Rebecca for some good wording to really make sure it's tied in with this proposed possible upcoming project. If we were to say, yes, we would be willing to grant a temporary easement for this type of project, it would then still need to come before us in an NOI. In other words, there would still need to be a full filing for the project itself. It's a culvert replacement. During that filing, we would be able to say, yeah, that temporary easement, when it reverts back to us, you have to make sure it renaturalizes and all of that good stuff. My understanding is this is not something, if we were to consider it, it's not something we would need to condition tonight. It's more letting them know, yes, you can move forward with the plans, knowing that we will grant you a temporary easement for what they had requested. Lauren, am I getting that right?
Yes, that's correct. So right now the project is only in the design phase. And yes, they're only seeking permission to place a temporary easement on this highlighted portion here. And I'll see if I can zoom in even more. It's not a very clear plan.
Yeah. I'm wondering if people know Forbush Mill Road in general.
Well, they're doing a culvert right now, right, on Forbush Mill Road, right by the land.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. If
This
you try
is
and
the
go,
one
they
I
should
think
know.
that's-
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is
So
a
this is
different one?
another culvert.
This is the one that's up
Okay.
closer towards, I want to say, where Daniels used to be.
Oh, okay.
Do we know how much area they're looking to use?
Yeah, it
And
says
to-
there 2165, I think.
It's hard to read what that says.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's 2165.
that's what I'm seeing. 2165 or 2155. But
Yeah, something like that.
Are they just asking to park and store equipment there while they're
I was gonna say,
working?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I just don't understand what the request is. And I know I'm
It's
new to this, so.
so yeah, no, this is the first time I've been on the commission 12 years. I've never seen this before. I think what they are looking to do is like they need to submit the plans for the culvert replacement. It's going to need to happen. And in order for like them to submit plans that make sense for that are going to work with every other board, commission, all that good stuff, they're going to need to have to like stage here, which is technically town owned land and it's technically town owned conservation land on the side of the road.
Hmm.
And they just want to know before they move forward with this plan that will work for all these other departments, are we going to be okay allowing them to temporarily use that area? And my guess and total guess, Scott, is that usually when it's something like this, um, with a plan like this, it will end up saying, okay, you're gonna whatever park and stockpile. When you're done, you need to bring it back to whatever condition it was in, and it's basically roadside seed mix. Make sure it's not all mud, disgusting, gone. It's probably half invasives. Um, Generally speaking, we would still have a chance to condition all of that and say what they can park there and can't park there because they'll have to come back with a plan for the full thing. And we can condition things like, all right, you can't leave any, any whatever mechanical devices such as X, Y, or Z in this area, or, no spraying, blah, blah, blah. I think they're honestly just asking, would we be okay with something like this, granting a temporary easement before they go forward with submitting these plans to all the
Do we-
different town commissions?
Follow-on question, do we know what is inside this yellow area? Like, is this just road side? I mean, has anybody done a site visit? I mean, I would be,
I can picture. I know where the culvert is. I drive by. I used to drive by it all the time until we shut down Furbush Road because I go to the dump every week. Um, but it's a good question. If people want to get out there, um, I still think if they file an NOI to do the work and actually use that yellow area, we would at that point in time have a chance to do a site visit as well. Um, Again, I think this is just them saying, is this something we would consider or allow for them to go forward with submitting plans? And when they submit the plans, we could always deny too and say, no, you can't use that area.
okay, yeah, I think for considering, I think is fine. I would want more information before we voted on approving it, obviously.
Well, I think they're looking tonight, right? Am I correct here, Lauren?
Yep. So tonight they're just looking for authorization to place a temporary easement on it specifically for the design of the plans. And when they're ready to submit the plans in a notice of intent, then they would come forward with the entire project. And like you said, Brian, at that point, the commission could, place certain conditions on that or deny if they so choose so it's specifically for the design phase of the planning.
So that, yeah, but they would not be able to do anything here until it comes before us, if that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. So that said, would you be, Scott, and everybody else too, would you be comfortable voting tonight to give them that? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And again, this has not come up before, so I'm just trying to sound this out, Lauren. It would be a roll call vote to issue a temporary easement on conservation land for the project currently in design. Oh, actually, let me see if I can find it. I know Rebecca was trying to get some wording right.
Don't know if she had included it. Let me take a look.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay. In that case, so I had asked Rebecca if she could put together some wording, so we make sure we limit it to this specific project, that it's not, oh, you can have this temporary easement. It's, you can have the temporary easement for the purposes of, um, the project currently in design phase, for Goose Pond Path opens purpose of providing space during replacement, for the purpose of providing space during the replacement of a culvert and associated grading. I'm trying to narrow it in
I-
as much as humanly
I
possible.
think that
Yeah.
sounds right. For the purpose of providing space during replacement of a culvert and associated grading at Goose Pond Path, open space 3, abutting Four Bush Mill Road,
Mill.
public right of way.
All right. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, as long as it says the design phase, right, that we're not approving anything
Correct.
until.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
end
We're
of the-
granting the temporary easement for the purposes of design, for the purposes of this one project. Yeah. Okay. All right. And all right. So in that case, I'm gonna try this one time. I'm gonna call for a roll call vote, that for the commission to approve a temporary easement on conservation land for the purpose of providing space during the replacement of a culvert and associated grading at Goose Pond Path, open space 3, abutting Furbush Mill Road on the public right of way. All those in favor, please say aye, starting with Sue,
Hi.
Paul,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
and Lauren. I'm an aye as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, that was a new one. I've never seen that before. God. I'd be curious if Lori was here, if she's ever seen this one before. All right. Next up, we had discussion for our budget. I don't know if anybody was able to pull it, or Lauren, do you have a copy of it?
I do. It's very much in draft form right now.
I
but
was
can
gonna say,
pull it
yeah,
up.
you might not even need to pull it up, because one of the
Okay.
reasons, so for the commission members, one of the reasons it's on the agenda for this evening is we are getting to that time of year. And Rebecca and Lauren, in their foresight, we know it usually takes us a little bit of time to look at these things and go through them. So tonight is kind of the reminder. It should be coming around in the next couple of days, Lauren, an initial draft of our budget for next year. If you get it, please take a look at it before our next meeting. Our next meeting is December 2nd, and I think they want all the initial budget numbers by December 8th. Am I correct in those dates, Lauren?
That's right. So I know the budget, the draft budget document that you have in your meeting packet, it was not provided to you 5 days in advance. It was just uploaded this morning. But we just wanted to put it in there just so you can have a look at it and just start thinking about it before next meeting on the 2nd. And at that point, we will need a vote by the 2nd.
Yeah. So yeah, as in years past, this year we've been asked to really level fund as much as possible. I think most people remember last year, the town had to do a Prop 2.5 override, basically to put us on a really good financial footing, and address some past year's issues. So we're going to do our best to do exactly that, to try to level fund to the largest extent possible. I think most things you'll see in there, and usually there's a little small narrative explanation of why something went up and or down. I would ask you, if you have a chance in the next couple of weeks to look through it, email Lauren or Rebecca with any questions you might have. Rebecca's also great if you ever want to set up like a time to talk to her, and she can walk you through some of these things. But if you have a chance over the next 2 weeks, take a look through the budget. Any initial questions, if you think of them, try to email them to Lauren or Rebecca. As a reminder, always email either Lauren or Rebecca. We can't email other members of the Conservation Commission. And when Lauren and Rebecca reply to you, they won't be replying to all of us as well. and then in our next meeting, we'll have to take a look at it. We'll go through it. It's not a ton of line items. For newer members, I'm trying to think how many. It's like 12 line items. I can't even remember. So it's relatively quick to look through. For newer members, like some of the terms as what's a capital improvement versus what's ongoing maintenance. If you have any questions like that, feel free to send them along to Lauren and Rebecca. At our next meeting, we'll go through each of the lines, make sure or get any questions, any additional questions out at that point in time, and also allow Lauren, and I might ask Rebecca to jump into that next meeting, Lauren, to answer any questions at that time. So if you have a chance to look through it and you save up some questions, that's great. But we really want to take a good, honest look at it next meeting and see if we can't approve it. And for newer members, when we approve it, it still goes, we still have to go to the advisory board. At some point they call in each different department in town, including conservation. They go through what we put forward as a budget, and sometimes they'll ask for cuts at that point in time. And that also might be a point in time where if we have to say, oh, we might need to amend this and add to this one, or something like that. So there is that point in time in the process would be coming up. And then if they're comfortable with it, then it goes to annual town meeting to be voted on. Did I get most of that right, Lauren? Some of it. Okay. Any initial questions? Does that make sense? People hopefully will have a chance to go through the budget. This is excellent. All right. I don't believe I have any enforcement order updates. The Forest Legacy program, hopefully moving forward. It is moving forward slowly. For the DCR Department of Conservation and Recreation, as part of their cost share program, the commission, we were approved for the cost share program through their create / update forest management plan. So the forest management plan we had submitted for possible climate change management plans regarding to the Taggart property, they approved that one. So we currently have a licensed forester who has been contracted and working on the creation of a forest management plan for the Taggart conservation area. And when they are done with the project, it'll come before us, and we'll have a chance to see what they're recommending and what we could possibly do going forward. So that is a positive. I just wanted to get that one out there. Our volunteer land steward position is still available, oddly. Lauren, is there anything I have missed?
No, we covered all of it.
Right. Commission members have any new business or anything they would like to see added to the agenda for our next meeting? Seeing none. I would like to make a motion to hereby adjourn the Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. Do I hear a second for adjourning?
Second.
All those in favor, starting with Sue.
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Thought he wanted to keep going. Jim?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And Lauren, I'm an aye as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
good
We'll
night.
Thanks.
see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.